And hey, so start. Good to see people signing up on um, Thursday evening. Day, this day, Tashila, Ishni, good evening. See you, hi, folks. Let me sort of start and tell you where I find myself. Let me apologize right at the outset. You see, I'm sitting with my little round cap on, so hi, Neil. So Wednesday morning at 4 o'clock. Yeah, no, Jade said, no, I'm making you jealous. Listen, guys. Good evening, Nadia. Good to see you. So Wednesday morning, the 24th at 4 o'clock, we got up. I flew in to Qatar, so that's a straight hour, 8 hours, almost 9 hour flight. Um, so Wednesday morning, I got up at 4, right, to start stuff and working and stuff and stuff and stuff. Um, So I got up at 4. We flew in 9 hours to Qatar. Then there was a 3 hour connection stay over at Qatar, and then 5 hours to Rome. And I landed in Rome this morning at 8 o'clock. And I just literally walked into my hotel room about an hour ago. So I am absolutely spaced out, guys. Nadia, I like your pick. Deal, I'm here till the 8th. I'm flying back on the 8th, so that 9th, I will actually be back when we have class again. So, guys, please excuse me. I've been literally been awake now for 36 hours, and it's busy and so on. What I do want to share with you, there's a couple of things I want to share with you folks tonight, and my heart is so full. Um, when I there's a lot of things that sort of went through my mind the last day or so. You know, how your horizons get broadened and how all of us are the same but also different. And I want to start off this evening by telling you guys that I really, um, I'm really proud of you folks. I really am, for what you're doing, the courage that I do believe you submitted on the 22nd, if I'm not mistaken. Just give me a thumbs up if I am correct. So all the campuses had different extensions. You submitted, that's good. And believe it or not, guys, that's the part 3, which I think is a pivotal one. And now going forward, there's the final. Let me just admit, James. There's the final. Welcome, James. Good evening. There's the final submission, and that's the end of the story. I just want to reiterate again quickly. I think we did speak about this last time. You will see there's a second opportunity. The second opportunity is not something to take lightly, please. The reason why it's there is because the module is on phase out. I know the backlighting is horrible. I'm sorry. I'm sitting in a hotel. I actually have a view of the Vatican City. Yo, guys. That's Sistine Chapel and St. Peter's, what do they call that? Obelisk, something like that. Yeah, it's quite something to see there. But we don't want anyone to drop off the course. I'm talking research and not graduate next year. I'm telling you, my highlight is to attend my students' graduations. And when you sit there and you walk across that stage and we can cheer for you, that's where things really come together. So we need to really push hard with this last submission. I want to use next week. That will be October. Can you believe we're sitting in October? That will be October the 2nd. I will send communication on this. I want to use this for a Q&A. Firstly, Q&A, there's a one. And I want to use it to really polish you guys, to polish you in working toward your final submission. And I'm talking research. you realized everything is about research. Everything is about research. The content is not that important, not in the modules and nowhere else. Can I say for my own personal opinion, I'm saying it off the record, it's just my opinion. I don't think sustainability assignment 1 was postgrad level. I don't think assignment 2 was postgrad. It didn't really allow you guys to get into deep, hardcore academic research. The skimpy info that was available on Unilever was even made worse in the second one with that ESG company. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but there was very limited research on that ESA. Thanks, Neil. So I don't think those were necessarily um, the sort of assignments that I would like to see at this level to really allow you guys to do some research and work wider and get a bit more out of the box. I think it was very limited in scope, if I can say that. Nevertheless, Georgia Jade agrees. Tashila agrees. It was interesting, though. I think so. That's always a learn. And again, guys, uh, again, if I on the one hand shake your hands, all of you virtually shake your hands and say congratulations for coming so far. Look back at the tremendous growth curve that you've all went through from the beginning of the year. And all of you have grown tremendously, which is fantastic. And if you look back now and you see how you will address things or how you will tackle stuff, how you will answer, how you will think, you will realize that you've been on this exponential growth curve. So what I was thinking is how our horizons are broadened by what we experience and so on, right? So when I was at Qatar airport, and I don't want to make this all about my travel, I'm just sharing and talking with you as I speak for a while. I saw so much of the wealth. I mean, if you look at the duty-free shop, there was a bottle of whiskey that I was very interested in because it was only 560,000 rand. And I told my wife, I don't think we're gonna get that price at Makro. So let's buy it. But Yasi didn't find it funny. But the fragrances, the liquor, the Armani, the jewelry, the watch shops, the shoes, the everything is so amazingly. I mean, the quality that I've never seen so many people wearing Rolex watches, right? Now I'm sitting in Italy. Now people, the Italians are they are pretty people. They are really awesomely beautiful people. They brown and they tan and they wearing all the stuff. So there's a very strong materialistic thing. Now they say, but what are we building? On the other hand, I'm looking at old stuff and I'm looking at legacy. What's the legacy? And that's what I want to ask you this evening. So I'm preaching a bit. I'm sometimes a bit of a dominie, but I want you guys to also take the time and think of how your life skills, how your worldview um, is important, and how the way we view the world and make sense of the world and rationalize the world is critically important in terms of navigating our life. I'm looking at a lot of stuff, and I'm seeing stuff that people built, and some of the stuff were built even before our continent was discovered or our country was discovered. Um, but are we building value? Are we leaving legacy? They say there's three things that can really three things. Sorry guys, they say you get three types of people. Those that can do maths and those that cannot do maths. All right, I rest my case. Um, when you look at, they say there's three things that can really take a man down. And I think the same applies for ladies. It's money, it's power, or fame, and then the sexual stuff. Um, in Afrikaans, they say rande, rands, rokke, dresses, and roem. Roem is fine. I think the same applies. What are we chasing? What are we building? Guys, I want to tell you, when I was walking through Qatar airport, I saw something of a vibe of people chasing and going after and sitting there and, wearing very expensive, very expensive clothes and jewelry and watches and whatever. Nothing wrong with that. Sitting with a phone literally on their faces for hours. So the whole digital consumption idea entered my mind again. What are we building? Are we creating value? Are we building something? What's the legacy we will leave? And I'm by no means talking about academic stuff. That's a that's an important thing, but there's more important things. What's the legacy of the man or the woman you are becoming? What will you leave behind? What will they say at your funeral? What's the legacy we leave in terms of our relationship, in terms of our parenthood, when it comes down to that? And I do want to say this. I think with what you are busy and being someone that has to think critically about things that are beyond the obvious and I think beyond the shallow things in life. And there's nothing wrong with the pleasures in life. I think the pleasures is something that's given to us to enjoy. But is there something more? Are we, are you, ask yourself, am I building something? Am I creating something? And I'm not saying we have to be famous and our names have to be known and we have to build something. What is the legacy we are leaving? What are we doing with our time? I'm confronted with that so many times. What do you do with time? Time is a commodity, hey? Um, and yesterday's gone forever. We'll never have it back. I want to commend you because I want to sort of come in at an angle here. And so I'm looking at all of this and I'm looking at the things that people chase and the things that people want. And I think as one becomes older in wisdom, one would sort of come to realize there's sometimes things that you want, but that does not necessarily fulfill you. Um, what's the value? What's your thing? What's the thing you are passionate about to say, I'm gonna invest, uh, I'm gonna die if I don't do this. I want to lay down my life for this. And something simple, but something valuable. There's lots of value. It's so interesting. When I walked out of that Sistine Chapel today, now guys, I don't know if those of you that have been there, it literally sweeps your breath away and it becomes so overwhelming that you can't take it in. But when I walked out there was someone with a little puppy dog in the street with a little tail wagging, and the eyes were all like Vicky naughty, and a puppy with that little naughty twinkle in its eye. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's so amazing. There's all these things, but look at this puppy. This puppy with that naughty twinkle in his eye almost gave me more joy than all the beautiful things that people made in that chapel and so on. And again, appreciate the gifting. I always appreciate when someone does something good, if it's doing ballet, if it's welding an iron rod, if it's playing a piano, doing maths, landing an aeroplane, when there's something that's done well, it always impresses me. Guys, I think you are creating value. And the mere fact that there's this window in your life where for some of you, maybe it was something that you planned a long time. For some of you, maybe it was something that you decided more um, recently, or it was a more spontaneous decision. But to think about the world and to try and make sense of this upside down world and to be someone that can think, yes, critically think, guys, to be someone that can elegantly and eloquently converse with your words and with your pen or your keyboard, those are valuable skills. And I think all this all this preaching comes down to this. What I want to say, take the honor that is coming your side now and then. We when we acknowledge you for the absolute courage that you have to do this. Work hard with with the knowing that the goalposts for research and the modules are close now. They are within sight. We can see them without binoculars. And let that motivate you guys to do your best with this last work. It's something you owe to yourself. Um, and you're gonna be so proud when you walk across that stage and they give you your qualification. And the way you've grown and the way you can maybe listen to people, the way you remember I told you guys you're gonna get allergic, literally allergic for people making assumptions, for people making unfounded opinions, for people not taking into consideration all the aspects that sort of um, blends or works into it, an issue where people are very um, fond of putting one-sided arguments forward. The research journey gives you all these skills. There's a word for that. Um, all these skills that you can absolutely apply in life. And that's an important thing I want to say to you this evening. When we are busy with academic work, it bleeds and it hurts and it's like really, really, in fact, some of you might say, yo, I'm so to use the right word, um, godful. When I'm done with this, I don't wanna study for, or at least I don't want to study for a while. Some of you say, listen, that master's, I was thinking of, yo, I'm just gonna delay that first. I've really had enough. They really, 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 Tashila, yeah, they really, this is tough, eh? It's really something that tests you to the limits. But guys, I want to tell you, it makes you strong. What's the word I'm looking for, man? It's not serendipity. I think serendipity means it's meant to be. It's like coincidence, but with a. But these skills is something that you acquire without really knowing that you acquire them. But I want to point it out to you specifically, implicitly, that you guys have grown a lot, and I can see that. I can see it in the way you operate, and I, for one, and I think my colleagues as well, are immensely proud of you. So there's a lot of stuff happening in the world, and I did tell you that I think what the world needs today is educated people that can put forward balanced opinions. Where I'm sitting now in Rome, the UN, they are hosting or they are seating, let me just see, they host the headquarters of three major UN agencies, namely the Food and Agriculture section, the FAO, the World Food Programme, the WFP, and then the International Fund for Agricultural Development. There's about 4,000 UN workers here. Of course, there's a lot more working in Geneva and those places. But the world is becoming increasingly complex. And what a wonderful, wonderful um, position you guys are in to say you don't have to um, you don't have to just swallow the narrative that the mainstream is sometimes giving us. We have good brains. You guys have good brains. You have skills. And sometimes the truth is layered. The truth is not apparent. Sometimes the truth is layered and it's somewhere deeper. But your skills as a researcher and someone looking for truth, looking for the facts, looking for coherence, logic, someone that can make sense of the world, not only for yourself, but for others. Some of you will write a short article. Some of you might write a rubric or something that you do in a blog. Guys, don't underestimate how that could help others in some cases, where you just make sense of something, or you just write something short and you point out stuff in a way that's professional. Um, Elegant is the word, because you can give language to complex complex ideas because you've got this academic. Yes, I don't know. You guys are starting with your postgrad um, journey and so on. You are not seasoned or matured academics at this point, but you've made that leap. And when I'm sitting in the online space, I still see you guys as a cream of the crop because that's what we have now. Hey, yes, and I know there's masters and there's doctorates on the cards, but I've got a soft spot for my honors cohorts, and I see you guys really as the people carrying that flame or carrying that baton for us to a large extent. And I want you guys to also think of yourself as that. Take a step back and pat yourself on the shoulder and say, well done for coming this far. Um, and let this final one be something where you just be yourself and you enjoy it. Guys, enjoy the journey. Enjoy this last one. A lot of you will tell me, so when I started doing the interviews, when I started doing the data, there's a new light that went up for me with my research. Finally. Now the things that were previously abstract became tangible. Now things make sense. So next week, I'm going to use for a Q&A session, and I'm going to give you very, very specific feedback uh, in general, again, in terms of your submission too. Remember, assignment 2 was, well, I haven't marked, not finished marking, but you submitted, so you're going to get your marks. And when I go through that general feedback, you're going to see, you're going to laugh, and you're going to say, oh, I did that. And then I'm going to say something else, and I say, don't do this, avoid this. And you're going to say, oh man, that was me, that was me, that speaks to me, I did that. So you're going to benefit a lot from that. And I want you to think of, let's polish your research skills and your writing skills and your academic skills a bit. Um, I'll do it here from Italy. I'm here till about the 8th, 9th, so I'll be online, and I will definitely not change the time again if I can avoid it. If I need to, I will notify you guys again. But let's make it practical, and I'm going to give you real good tips. If I send you a rubric, and I save the previous rubric, and then I use that for assignment 2. Guys, if I told you to use the words per space sent instead of per cent sign, but you still do the same thing in assignment 2, that really worries me. If I told you be mindful of the referencing guide because you put brackets on or this or that, the reaction I want is, oh yes, let me fix it. Let me be meticulous about this. If I tell you, listen, please space your work. It's cluttered, it's difficult to read, and you submit the very same type of thing again. If I tell you, hey, justify your text, it must be blocks, and the same thing comes up. If I tell you, please use detailed table of content headings and subheadings. Yes, Neil, you are correct. Don't use colors. Don't try and make your stuff nice and fancy. It's not necessary. It must really look boring, eh? It's terrible. It would be nice if one could put in a bit of life into an academic submission, but unfortunately, we cannot. But I want to see you grow. I want to see you listen. We are always open for correction. You say, all right, I can do this better. The difficult thing that is not so easy for me to say, that's where your mark sits in a rubric. Um, I cannot give you a shortcut and tell you this is how you write better. I cannot teach you how to think, how to be better in alignment, how to write. I really cannot teach you that, guys. It's something you will learn. Remember, we use the bicycle example always, and you will get better. If I say something like, be mindful of your academic tone. You talking too much of a literary language, or I tell you, avoid figurative speech, avoid metaphors, avoid that sort of tone. Please listen to that, guys. I might go through my academic pointers again quickly now next week just to polish you guys a bit, give you some general feedback on what I saw in the assignment, although I think it wasn't really a good assignment. And then very important, folks, assignment 3 is of course a group assignment. Now tell me, are you guys already, I believe you should be, are you already in your syndicate groups, and is all of that continuing without hassle? It's normally not something that I intervene in. You can. So some lecturers like to divide students into groups, um, especially maybe when it's bigger cohorts. I don't like to do that. Thanks to Sheila, I like to let students self-organize those groups. Um, and you guys obviously had first semester to work together. Word of caution, um, if there were problems in semester 1, you remember there was that opportunity to peer review students and so on. Again, that's something I also tell students, don't take that lightly. Don't use the peer review just to get back at someone or this or that. And I'm going to tell you the same for assignment 3, guys. First prize for me would be that no one marks down a peer. In other words, everyone, if the peer review section contributes 5 marks, I would like to see every single one earn the 5 marks. If you tell me, sir, there was a member in our group of 4 or 5 who never contributed stuff on time, never attended the meetings, then the rest of you should be in agreement. Then at least 3 or 4 of you should be in agreement regarding that notion. And then by all means, that student will be marked down using the peer review in a rubric. I'm all for that. I'm just saying, don't abuse that, because group work is painful, guys. You know the whole thing, how groups first form, and then they storm, and then they norm, and then they perform. I don't think you guys necessarily had time to go through that cycle because you had to perform very quickly. So maybe you are still storming. Storming means group members are sorting each other out. Um, And if you've got a boyfriend or a girlfriend or you've got a spouse, you don't end the relationship because there's a conflict. You sort it out. In the work world, when you work with people on a project, there's times when you would have to get along with people that you don't necessarily like or agree with or want to get along with, right? So there's a there's a bit of that here. So I'm also want to ask you folks to be considerate. Don't just change groups for something that's not really serious. Maybe close your eyes, bite on your teeth, and get through the next one, even if it was a bit of a bumpy road. You hear what I'm saying? Listen, folks, going 4 or 5 people into the same boat is a bit of an absurd construct. We are all different, and we've got different personalities, and we are under stress for the outputs that we have to do. So it is difficult. Um, see if you can discover each other's strengths. That would be my big advice. So that the person who puts a hand up um, and say, listen, I'm your editing person. I am the go-to. I love editing a document. And if you see people that have the skill for that, it amazes you, like I said earlier. I've seen people jumping in a Word document and editing it in no time. and he's professional. And I ask him, wow, and I say, oh, no, it's easy peasy. It's my thing. I know how to do it. Some people has a way with writing. So now you're putting all this together because I know what students normally do with group work is they give it to different parties and then you gooi all of this together. But now you have to get your tone and your academic sort of style uniform. Maybe there's someone in your group that says, listen, I can do that. I can make these things talk to each other. Believe it or not, I've seen students that say, I've got an eye for references. I will check the references in text and I will check the reference list so that it aligns with the IIE Anglo. Maybe there's a strength like that in your group. What I'm saying is discover your strengths. And maybe someone isn't good with doing research and finding and writing the stuff and contributing the stuff, but maybe this person is good with editing or references, whatever the case may be. Be advised that you all have to contribute to the presentation component, guys. Now, I know students will sometimes tell me, sir, I'd rather be, I'd rather fight a lion with my bare hands than to speak in front of people. And when I show up to speak in front of others, I feel, yo, I wish the earth can swallow me up. Again, it's a good skill, guys. So obviously, we're not going to do it face to face on campus. We're going to use technology for that, and we will organize the way in which we should do it and how we're going to do it. So obviously, maybe in some Teams meeting or something where you guys can share your visuals for assignment 3 and then take turns to present. On my campus classes, I make a big thing of it. I tell my students, listen, dress up nicely. Guys, put on a suit and a tie, and ladies, dress up nicely. And let's make a big hoo-ha of the presentations. With you guys, online is there, and online is limiting to some respect, but we will make the best of it. But I just want to say now, if your groups, if we need if you need to work on or sort out groups, guys, I mean, you cannot just kick people out. You say, well, the three of you've decided now that number 4 must leave the group, and you kick this person out. How on earth will this person be taken up in another group? Just be careful. Don't do radical things in a hurry. Don't do that. See what you can do. It is painful. It will always be painful. Someone said something very interesting. Um, who said that about last semester? Nadia said her campus friend, we bumped heads, and now we are unfortunately cut off. Yeah, it is a pity, hey? So, I mean, guys, we have conflicts and we resolve conflicts. And I mean, if you just think about your household, people that are closest to us, those are the ones that we are the most in conflict with. But we don't just throw them out or drop them out of our lives. The Sheila says, yes, I've got a group. Neil says, can we use groups from last semester? That would be a yes, Neil, absolutely. That would be great. At least you have me, Nadia. Thanks, Neil, for catching Nadia. Yeah, guys, so make the groups work. I'm not one that intervenes too much in that. I want you guys to self-organize and self-manage your group work. Um, and then give us a good assignment 3 with visuals. I will brief you a bit on that when we get there. I mean, we've got time for that. What I expect of visuals. Some pointers on the sort of slideshow that you put together. Obviously, you can. Yo, what's that wonderful software that you guys use? Is it Canva or something like that? You make the most amazing slideshows. I haven't looked at the Canva, thanks to Sheila. I haven't looked at the averages yet, so I can't really tell you, to be honest. Nadia also says Canva is excellent. I can't really tell you, Neil. Neil is asking. Interesting case study, Doc. Canva, yes. Interesting case study. What do you mean? Elaborate. It's easy to use when you add a picture or text, everything stays where it must. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Unlike Microsoft products, hey? Oh, read about their case study. I hear what you say. Amazing story. Okay, fantastic. Guys, I am a bit spaced out, as I said at the beginning. Please take what I said this evening. Take that compliment from me, from my uh, very sincere, from my heart, to say proud of what you are doing, proud of what you are busy with, proud of the people you are becoming, proud of the difference you are making in your circle of influence. Again, guys, you are the decision makers of the future. So don't underestimate your role. It is a privilege to work with you because there's a lot of things that rub off on me. I'm a bit of an older person. I'm not old, I'm 54. I'm actually aging in reverse now, but I think so. I would like to think so. I've lost about 8 kgs in the last month or so. But yeah, looking at my health and everything, thanks for the applause. I always say our best years is ahead, but you young people have a different enthusiasm and a different view on things that is really precious. And you've got a fantastic opportunity to play an important role and to say, well, you are, you create the future. Let's say we're not worry or fret about the future. Let's create a future. And as people that are well balanced, people that can think, people that can talk nicely, people that can show up in a way that's professional and that brings a blessing of presence to any situation, to a classroom, to an office. There's that blessing of presence that you guys bring. So thanks for that. I'm gonna adjourn you. Thank you very much, Tashila. Enjoy Rome. Yeah, I'm gonna see some very interesting stuff they tell me. So I'm not quite there. I have to work a lot as well. But yeah, I'm gonna see a lot of interesting places here in Italy. Always good to see you guys. Take care. Um, so two big ones are now in. I think September was an absolute nightmare. Hey, it really took some planning, and now a couple of final ones. Guys, please look at the ice. Um, I don't want anyone. Listen, I feel so bad. It was a monster month. Well said. I feel so bad when people don't get their full ice marks for some reason. Guys, they're all there. So make sure you get your ice. Thank you very much for dialing in this evening and take care. Look after yourselves. And we will be in touch. I will communicate and just remind you guys, if you've got stuff that you want to ask me, if we do a Q&A next week, and that's about not only Molly, it's about research, it's about your studies in general. Use that opportunity and ask me. I'm happy to do a Q&A. I think we can also look at the group assignment part 3, and I will give you that tips on your academic work. So let's plan that for next week. If there's nothing else, I see students are greeting and giving their good blessings, and then ah, you will dial in from Germany. Wow, that's interesting. Fantastic. Enjoy the enjoy the flying, hey? Okay, folks, speak to you again. So, like they say in Afrikaans, gooi milies, hey? Take care, folks.